let's jump right into it. So it's the new season of Miracle Workers. This time we're heading to the Oregon Trail. What was filming this season like?
Yeah, after you,
Yeah,
Steve.
well, it was, I mean, in the beginning, it was a little tense because we went in early January, just as LA was surging. And, but luckily we were filming mostly outdoors. That's the nature of the Western. So that was nice. And in Santa Clarita. And yeah, we were tested 3 times a week. And so all that, felt, once we got our footing, felt good. And then I think the more we all relaxed into it, it was really fun. It was fun to
Yeah,
be working. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think that there was something about like certainly for me, yeah, there was like a little bit of weirdness with the COVID of it all, and everyone's in and there's so much more to be aware of than normal. But I hadn't worked in so long that I was just so happy to be back on a set of any kind that I was, and for it to be this set where I like know mostly everybody already in some degree. Like it was a real kind of dream first job back during COVID.
I am curious with this. When I was watching the first episode, it seemed like with Oregon Trail, there were some modern day references, not giving away too many spoilers. But Daniel, I know at the very beginning, I was cracking up at one of your lines that, I don't know, kind of it brought me back to 2020. What was
Yeah.
that like at kind of filming this in parallel to what's going on with the world right now?
I mean, I think one of the joys of this show is like finding ways of paralleling, if that's a word, things that are happening in the modern day in whatever time period we're in, and definitely disease was obviously a real factor in everyone's life in the 1840s, as it very much became last year as well. So yeah, we tried to have fun with that, and yeah, I think there's some good jokes about that. But the whole season is not like I don't want people to watch it being like, oh god, is this all going to be an allegory for COVID? Because it's definitely not that.
And you kind of have to just laugh about it at this point now, right?
Oh, we try.
So Daniel, you play a small town preacher, and Steve, you're playing a bandit. Your chemistry is so funny. When I was watching the two of you, when Daniel's holding the gun for the first time, and he's like, I've never done a stick up before. How do you kind of play off each other? Do you riff off each other? Do you stick to the script, or what is it like working with each other?
I think it's both. I mean, one of the things about this season, when the writers were getting ready to do it, and they talked to both Dan and I about what we'd like to see happen, both of us said, well, we want more scenes together, because I love working with Dan. And yeah, we pretty much, I mean, the scripts are so much fun and so well written that we stick to the script. But then oftentimes we just, I remember the scene where we're in, yeah, the scenes that where we were in the wagon, then because we would just continually film on a loop of us, just riding, wide shots, close-ups, and after a while we just started to improvise together, and it felt very natural. Yeah, it was fun.
It was great. No, it was very, very fun. It's very, very few times. Like, I feel like there's a particular pride that the rest of the cast takes if you ever make Steve like laugh at an ad lib that you do. And I think I made you laugh once during the scene where I'm untying you and you were wiggling. I don't think the ad lib made the actual final cut of the thing, but I don't care because it made Steve laugh.
Well, what was it? Do you remember it? Can you tell us?
I don't know. It was something. It was one of the. It was something to do with like saying just like stop wiggling, you're making it weirder or something. It's I don't know what it was actually, but it was yeah. It was I enjoyed those scenes a lot.
Well, you're both executive producers for this season as well. What is it like working together off screen as opposed to having that chemistry on screen?
It's yeah, I mean, it's nice, to be in that position so that we can watch all the cuts. We have, we get consulted, a lot, and we're allowed to be as active or inactive as we choose. I mean, sometimes it's hard while you're shooting to also, keep all of that in mind. But I did direct a couple of episodes, and so that was, then you really have to get into every aspect much more. But I don't know if it's something that Dan and I talked about too much, except it's more in pre-production, like more like getting into this, like before everything goes into production.
Yeah, I think that's when it feels like it, like any role as a producer. I mean, I'll still be like we'll both be like talking to the writers about the scripts as they come in, and being producers gives us in the position of having input into that, which is amazing. But yeah, I don't think once production starts, I'm mainly just like an actor.
Yeah.
This show is so unique because of the, changing of the characters every season. You were in heaven first, then the Dark Ages, now you're on the Oregon Trail. What is it like to work on a show like that and have that kind of experience where you're flipping characters?
It's, as an actor, it's great, and to do it with the same cast, so that it really, we feel like a company, and and I'm excited that this year we have a third season, so that we have three separate settings, because I think it may have been confusing before when people watch this, if they watched the second season and was expecting us to be in heaven again, it must have been really confusing. But now that we have three, I think people will get the concept more, that it's a different setting each season.
Yeah,
they're catching on to it.
Yeah, and it is like, yeah, as Steve said, like it's a dream for me, particularly like having obviously played like one character for a long time, like the idea of doing a TV series but getting to change it every year and getting to be something new every year, and also getting to see everybody else do something new every year. Like this season was like one of the joys of it was I feel like, I don't know, there's everyone just has fantastic roles this season. I'm really excited for everyone else to see them.
I was curious about that. Steve, you have Boardwalk Empire, Sopranos, the list goes on. Daniel, you as well, you have so many different things that you've done. Harry Potter being one of the series that was more of a series, same with Boardwalk Empire, more of a series where you're really developing that character and sticking with the same person. Is that easier, or is flipping characters each season more easier, or which is more challenging for you guys?
I mean, for me on Boardwalk, as the seasons went on, it did become more challenging, because I mean, the joke I always made was, I feel like I'm running out of expressions for my character. He had a very kind of set way of dealing with things, and then, but on that show, like, my character kept getting darker and darker, and the show was, sometimes went into a dark place, and so yeah, after doing 5 seasons, it does kind of affect your psyche. Getting to do a show like Miracle Workers, and it's and doing the comedy, and knowing you're going to play a different character each season, and you just, then you really want to savor like each moment you have as this character, because this is the only season you're going to do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think, obviously Harry was a character that was obviously changing and developing a lot, so it wasn't playing the same thing every year, and also, like, frankly, like, I was learning to act for a lot of those years as well, so there was a lot to keep me keep me interested. But then, yeah, there is something like joyous and about getting to do this thing that you're only going to do once, and there is something sad that you get to the end of the season, you're like, okay, I think I've actually kind of cracked this character now, and I don't get to do it again. But it is still, yeah, I'd rather, I think as an actor, the more you get to change what you do and like keep it fresh is the most exciting way to do the job.
Well, it's unique for you guys. It's unique for us. We're really looking forward to catching it on TBS July 13th, Miracle Workers, Oregon Trail. We're going to hit the Oregon Trail with you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you so much.